Hello everyone. In this video, we're gonna see what AppAsap has built based on our requirements and how it automates the process of developing an app. So just to refresh our memory, traditionally when you're creating software, after you have the requirements, the tech lead needs to build a database design. So he could build the database that we're gonna then use so that the mobile app can talk to it through the backend. So the next thing that AppAsap does for us is that from the requirements, it builds us the database design. So let's take a look. Now, if we go to the database visualizer tab, we're going to be able to view our database structure. But first, what's a database? What does it actually mean to have a database? A database is a collection of tables. So imagine that you have a spreadsheet that has rows and columns, where each row is a new data point and each column specifies the type of data that needs to go inside the table. So maybe you have a column called name and a column called age, and then you have John as a record that has age 30, and you have Hannah as a name that has age 20, and then you're going to have all of your data points in that structure. So a database is a collection of tables, or basically a collection of data structures and the data inside of them. So right now we're looking at the database structure. What tables do we have to store our information, and what columns are in each table? But to visualize it, we're gonna have to see all of those tables and look through them and then try to understand the relationship between those tables. So instead, we visualize each table as a blob. So let's go maybe to the user table that stores our user information. Right. So instead of me seeing a table that has a column called name and a column called email, we visualize it as a blob. That's the user table. And since we're only concerned about the structure, not the actual data, we can see here the columns that are in that table. So the user table has a column called name, a column called email, a column to store the password, a column to store the password, and so on. So these are the attributes or the columns inside the table called user. Now, a database is not just a collection of tables that don't know anything about each other. Tables also have relations between each other, which means that if a user makes an order, um, we're in the order table, the order has the order number, the shipping address, but we also need to store the information of which user created the order. So instead of having a user ID field that's not connected to the user table, we can actually create a relation between them so that we know that this is the specific user that created this specific order. So we can navigate between them. So we can do queries like, get me the orders of this user, or get me the user who has made this order, and so on. So right now we are visualizing our database. Each blob is a table, and the connections between them are the relations. User has a cart, user has an order, the order has a payment that's made on that order. So it's basically linking a column's data to another table. It's basically a relation is us saying that if the order has a payment ID, the payment ID exists in another table with further information about the payment. So now that we know how to visualize it, and we can see that the AI has built us a database design for our requirements, what if we need to edit it and maybe add stuff that the AI has missed? Maybe we need to add a new table to store information about our promo codes. So we can create a new table, just like that. and we can name it promo codes. We can see that it capitalized the P because the naming convention of the table names is that the first letter is capital. Now it automatically gives it an ID and it created at and an updated at columns so that we know when each record was created and we know the ID of each record so we can reference it later. But we can add any fields that we need. So maybe we want to add a name for the promo code or the promo code name itself. So we have a few data types to choose from. The column in this table can either be a string, which is basically text, or it could be an integer, which is a number, or it could be a float, which is a decimal number, or it could be a boolean, which is a true or false field, or it could be a date time, or it could be a file where we can store an image, video, audio, PDF, and so on. Or it could be a list of predefined values that we cannot, that the column's value can't take anything other than them. So these are the data types that we have. For the sake of what we need to do right now, we're going to need to create a string for the promo code name. And we're going to call it name. Next, we're going to need to have a type for the promo code. So we're going to also give it a type. And since this is an enum, which is a list of predefined values, we need to add the list of the values so we could choose from them later on. So let's say I want the type to be referral. So it's a referral promo code for someone, or offline advertisement maybe, or maybe it's an online promo code. So it's for online ads. So these are the types of promo codes that I'm going to have. And we're going to also give it a number, which is the discount percentage of that promo code. Now, we can see here that I created a space between discount and percentage, and that goes against the naming convention. It has to be one word, just like that. So that's the discount percentage. We're going to store it for each promo code. So I'm happy with that. But I want the promo code to be related to maybe certain products. So the promo code can only be applied to certain products. So we need to create a relationship between it and the product because we need to specify which products are gonna this promo code is gonna apply to. Now we're gonna need to find the products table to create a relationship between them. Oh, here's the products table. So we can move this up here. Let's bring the products table here. And we're gonna say that the promo code needs to have a list of products that it applies to. So here we created a relation that it has a list of products. If we want the promo code to only apply to a single product, we can modify this from multiple values to a single value. So now each promo code has only one product, but if we do this, each promo code will have multiple products. And we can do those constraints for different fields. Maybe we want the name of the promo code to be unique. So we can specify that it's unique. And maybe we want the user to never be able to create a record for promo codes without a name. So the name is always required. You can't create a record for the promo code without the name. And maybe you could give it multiple types. So here you want to say that the type is multiple values. So these are basically the constraints that you could do. Now, once you have made your edits and you're happy with your database, you can just press apply changes and it will apply all of those changes to your database that's already hosted on the server and will apply it also to the API and the admin CMS. And we're going to look at that in the next video. So now that we have seen the database design, we want to see what AppAsap did to host our database and to build our API and admin CMS so we could manage the database. So in the next video, we're going to be taking a look at just that.